Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we're discussing a watch that was originally launched as you see it here in 2018, though it changed along the way. We're discussing the 44mm FP Journe LineSport Centigraphe Sport. And I want to clarify that though this integrated bracelet 44mm rose gold model was launched in 2018, it wasn't until about midway through 2019 that the bracelet and case without rubber bumpers was introduced. Also worth mentioning, this ruthenium-coated sterling silver dial, that is the gray dial, was discontinued after 2024, so in 2025 this now has a black dial. So this model, as you see it here, without the rubber bumpers, but with the ruthenium dial, was made roughly mid-2019 through the end of 2024. Now that we've placed it, let's talk about it. It is a massive watch, though not thick. 44 millimeters in diameter. In profile, I measure the watch 10.8 millimeters thick, and then from end link to end link, the total rigid distance across the wrist is 54.1 millimeter. It is a very, very heavy watch. You can really feel it in the hand. Although on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, it wears quite nicely. Being flat, it'll slip easily underneath the cuff. You can see this is a very thin watch. And then the arc of the bracelet here is just as important as the end link to end link measurement. I can wear this. I would say if your wrist is my size, 16 centimeter circumference and up, you're gonna wear this well. This is gonna be very comfortable. There's no reason to seek out a 42. And it does fit quite well. It also has a massive bracelet and clasp, so if you like to wear your watch loose, it's not gonna hula hoop or move around or capsize on your wrist. We're going to take it off the wrist now, take a quick look. You can see, although there are polished highlights, the vast majority of the finish on the case and bracelet is a granular media blast. The bracelet's fully integrated. This is the LineSport type case that Journe first introduced in 2011 on the 42mm aluminum Centigraphe Sport. And so it is not the Foudroyante case. That's been around, well, that's been gone, I should say, since 2018. This is a very different sport-specific form and bracelet. You can see that it has a straight link at the center and then sort of a canted diagonal link outboard. The links are polished on their outer faces. You can see removable links fixed by screws. We have doubled up ceramic spring-loaded pin snaps, so over time the clasp snappiness and closure will never diminish as the gold can't wear down the ceramic pin snaps. Then you can see we have the clasp itself, which is articulated. It does have a little bit of internal fine adjustment available. So that's how that works. We have that little pull-out fine adjustment mechanism. And it is a double folding clasp. Another element that changed with the removal of the rubber bumpers is that the clasp externally gained a polished buckle. No more rubber sheathing for this component. We also have a case that's relatively simple, though it incorporates all of the classic Centigraphe elements and Journe elements. You have Journe's famous double-dimpled, knurled crown. No branding, but none is necessary. It's an icon of the brand. We have one of two patented items on the Centigraphe, which is this rocker system. Though it looks like it might be a mono pusher, unlike a mono pusher, it can stop and then resume. We also have I may as well demonstrate the reset because it's a great little piece of horological theater. We also have a crown that works unusually. If you just turn it in this neutral position, nothing happens. The crown winds in the second position, and then the watch sets in the third position. So people often come up to me and they're confused about that. It winds in the intermediate position. We have a bezel. It's calibrated up to 16. Actually, this little insert is one of the few ceramic pieces used on any Journe watch. You can see the bezel gasket is expressed as a styling feature, though it's not particularly water resistant at 30 meters. Taking a look at the dial, we have a chemin de fer, or a railroad track outboard for reading the minutes, and then we have these lovely applique rose gold numerals. And you can see at close range that they are matte finished, just like the hands. They sit on a ruthenium-coated dial disc that's made of sterling silver, and then we have this lovely polished steel bezel for the chronograph registers. So this is 1 second, this is 20 seconds, and then this is 10 minutes. Now if you look at their scales, you can see each one features scales that are tachymetric. So here, here, and here, the fastest object you can clock with this tachymeter would be 36,000 kilometers per hour. And then down here, 6 kilometers per hour. Also important, This is the heart of the watch. Underneath is a 50 hertz escapement that allows this, and only this dial, to measure 1/100th of a second, hence Centigraphe. It's the namesake of the watch. You can also see that we have nice black and red on silver white print with an azurage pattern at the center. And then we turn it all over, and you can see that this watch actually has 2 heartbeats. So you're looking at the solid 18 karat gold caliber 1506. So 15 French lean, it measures roughly 34.4 millimeters in diameter, and then 06 is the year work started on the movement. Now, the original Centigraphe souverain with this movement won the GPHG Aiguille d'Or, so basically best picture at the Oscars of watchmaking, and this is the beating heart of that Aiguille d'Or winner. The Bridgestone plates literally are made of gold, so this watch with a sterling silver dial, gold bracelet, gold case, gold movement, it is massive in the hand. The barrel is centralized. Manual wind 80-hour power reserve chronograph off, 24-hour power reserve chronograph on. It is a column wheel style chronograph, so the indexing is very sharp and precise. It's free sprung for durability and precise setting. It's a 3 hertz movement, but it has a massive balance to make up for the lack of high beat rate. And the free sprung architecture allows for very precise adjustment, but also shock resistance. All this, as you can see, it nicely decorated, though not to a Grubel 4C or Romain Gaultier level. Journe finishing has come a long way since the early 2000s. Journe makes his own cases, clasps, bracelets, and movements, dials, all of this vertically integrated in a way very few small manufacturers are. So when you buy a Journe, it's all Journe. The money you pay goes into the watch. Turning back over again, it's a 50 jewel caliber with 2 patents, one of which is the rocker, the other is the way the barrel works. So the barrel drives the chronograph off its arbor, basically the axle at the center of the barrel, and then it drives the time, that is the minutes and the hours, off the toothed edge of the barrel. By driving the 2 trains off separate parts of the barrel, the watch does not lose amplitude or slow down when the chronograph is engaged. Well, you do lose power reserve. Remember, the largest scale is only 10 minutes. You don't need to leave it on full time. So this watch, through that patented double train system, is able to operate its chronograph and keep the time with no reduction in precision of either. And finally, the mirror-polished steel bezel surrounding the tachymetric scales, one of my favorite elements on the watch. So if you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.